Hi everyone, what's up? This is Gabriel from jgcrespomusic.com, and in today's lesson I'm going to talk about a few simple techniques that will get you reading music in less than 5 minutes. Okay, so let's get into it. So I'm going to start with learning how to read music on the treble clef, because this is the first staff that we learn how to read music on most instruments, of course, unless we're taking up the bassoon or the bass or some bassy or low instrument as our first instrument. But most of us tend to start probably with reading music on the piano, if not the guitar. So we're going to be dealing with the treble clef, okay? So that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to start with my method for identifying at least one or two pitches and then kind of looking at a concept that we usually don't get to learn until we take music composition, and that is the contour of the melody, okay? i.e. whether it's going up, down, skip, step, things like that, okay? So we're going to start out with one basic note. So on the piano, directly in the middle of any piano or keyboard you have, this does not matter the size of it, in the middle, it's going to be the pitch of middle C, okay? So how am I going to find C? Well, I'm going to find the pattern of the 2 and 3 black keys on the keyboard. And right before the 2 black keys, there is a white key right there, and that is C, okay? So once I know where that is, I know where it is on the piano. We'll get into that in a moment on how to find it on the piano, but let's look on the staff right now. So middle C is going to be essentially off the staff, and this is what we call ledger lines. These, by the way, are kryptonite for musicians when you have to sight read a lot of these, okay? We get into advanced reading techniques and you'll end up with a lot of ledger lines, but at this point you're starting to just kind of grasp the basic concepts. So let's get into looking at how would I read this. So let's take a simple melody. Right now I want to get the direction of what pitches I should be playing. I'm not focusing on the rhythm just yet, okay? So I'm going to kind of learn that in 2 separate steps, but let's look at something like this, for instance. If I go from this note to this note, okay, this is C going up to D, I'm going to look at the contour of this, okay? If I draw a line there, I can clearly see that it is going up, okay? So for those of you that are attempting to read something on the piano, up on the music staff is to the right on the piano, and down on the music staff is to the left on the piano, okay? So let's look at it. So if I have a simple melody like something like this, we can clearly see from these notes that the melody is going up, right? So that's the contour of the melody. Now, if I know where middle C is and I know how to play this pitch, okay, and I'm going to play it real quick, right? If I play that pitch, then I'm going to go up by 1 note. And the reason I'm going to go up by 1 note is because even though this is a ledger line, right, I'm still treating it as if it were on a line, okay? So when we refer to lines on the staff, notes that are on the lines and notes that are on the spaces, we're talking about, because this is an area of confusion for some people when they're first starting out, if the line runs through it, it is on a line, okay? If it's sitting on top of the line, we would refer to that note as being in the space, okay? So those are the notes in the spaces, right? So if I imagine this ledger line continues here, this next note is on a space, okay? So I'm going line, space, and then I'm going to another space. Now, there's a line right here, so that clearly means I jumped over or skipped up. So here's the 5-finger position on the keys. Remember, I've got 5 fingers, so my rule of thumb is 5 fingers, 5 notes, okay? I don't want to have them bunched up like this, and I don't want to have them spread like that, okay? So I'm going to start with my thumb. Again, we talked about the 2 black keys, 3 black keys. So we're finding C, which is right there. I'm going to start with my thumb in the right hand on C, and I'm going to play our simple melody that we have, right? So I start on C, I go up 1 note, and then we said we skip to the next space. So if I went here, that would not be skipping, right? I have to skip over that note, so I skip to there. So my melody is now. Now again, I'm not focusing on the rhythms of these notes just yet. I want to get myself familiar with what direction am I moving by identifying this. Now, a good way to get familiar with this is to start kind of practicing and putting finger numbers assigned to each note. So if I start with my thumb is 1, okay, this is our standard. Again, not an artist, so this is going to be a pretty rough hand drawing, something akin to a 4-year-old probably, perhaps. If it gives you a quick laugh, I'm glad to be a part of it. But this is going to be what I'm going to play with my right hand, okay? So my finger numbers are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, so pinky being my 5th. So if I were to play this same melody, the notes are C, D, and then I skip up to F. In finger numbers, I would do 1, 2, and then this would be right here 4, okay? Because 5 is going to be situated on the note G, okay? So that's a quick tip on how you can start reading on the treble clef in just minutes by kind of demystifying this code, which is musical notation, the universal language, and being able to start reading today. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video.